The interview is drawing to an end. We've been talking for over an hour. I look up from my notes at the young man across from me. Before we finish, is there anything you want to describe that we're missing? Anything we haven't talked about but should, I ask. There's nothing really, I don't think. I think we've covered it all, he replies. I mean, apart from the presence thing. The presence thing? I answer, looking back and down at my notes again. He takes a few seconds before continuing. Yeah, like when they are there, I can feel them there. The voices. What? Even when they're not talking, I ask. Yeah, just there, right next to you, like someone is standing behind you, looking over your shoulder. Alex hears 4 voices that other people cannot hear. He has heard voices for as long as he can remember. They talk to him every day. That's what our interview is about. How often he hears voices, what they sound like, and how they make him feel. Of all Alex's voices, one talks nearly constantly. It shouts, it cajoles, it criticizes, and it threatens. It is an incessant menace in his life. The first time I met Alex to do an interview, nearly 3 years prior, I asked him at one point what the voice was saying, right at that moment. It was telling him to throw some pens at me. He didn't. I think I got off lightly. The voice Alex hears nearly constantly is positioned very close to him, he explains, just off to the right, behind his ear. You know when it feels like someone is watching you? Like that, he says. I try to imagine what that must be like. A set of voices with you all the time, commenting on everything you do, questioning your actions, your decisions, even your thoughts themselves. The previous week, someone else had told me her voices were like a proper little make-em gang, talking about you all the time. She felt like they were constantly waiting near her house, plotting. If they are speaking most of the time, are you just getting used to them being there? I suggest. Like you expect them to say something, even when you aren't hearing them. Well, yeah, but it's not just that, says Alex. He pauses, thinking of the best way to help me understand. In the morning when I wake up, it's like I have a brief moment of peace, and then they make me jump, and I remember they are there, he says. And how does that make you feel? It's horrible, really, he shudders. I mean, I know some of them are okay, but you still don't want them around all the time. It's just creepy. This is the 3rd time I've interviewed Alex. He's taking part in a research study that we are running with the National Health Service, NHS, trying to understand more about voices and how they might change over time for the people who hear them. By voices, I mean auditory verbal hallucinations, hearing things that no one else can hear, an experience that most people would usually associate with schizophrenia. Roughly 75% of people with a diagnosis of schizophrenia report auditory hallucinations, and between 5 and 15% of adults will also hear voices at some point in their lives. The latter statistic can be a surprise, but once you start asking people about unusual experiences they might have, a shout of their name, a vision in the night, a weird premonition-like dream, many of them can describe at least something like that, and some have encountered these experiences more than once. When people tell you about them, they often do so quietly and cautiously. Some are just pleased to know they aren't the only one. Not everybody hears the kinds of voices that Alex does. He's using early intervention in psychosis, EIP services, the frontline NHS pathway that people access when they first start to show frequent signs of psychosis.